one team that looks particularly like they're gaining some kind of momentum is Crystal Palace as well. So since Roy Hodgson came back to the club, it raised a few eyebrows, and I think I was one of the critics that said this was a backward step, and I can't see how it's going to work out for them. But when you think about this short-term fix, which is exactly what it is, you've got a manager that's only been at the club very recently, who last time he was there kind of had a lot less to work with, didn't he? And the players he's got at his disposal now are like a tier above what he's used to. You know, Eze played brilliantly. Elise is fantastic, isn't he, on the ball? Going forward in the counter, they've been great. Even Odsonne Edouard scored. So there's players coming into the attacking play that weren't really involved in Palace's play as much in previous kind of games, really. But Hodgson's galvanised them in a way that I didn't expect, really. I don't think many did. Beating Leeds 5-1, that's a statement in a relegation fight, isn't it? Definitely,
and considering you're 1-0 down as well, to then go and score those goals in the second half was, Leeds did not cover themselves in glory in that second half. It was an absolute disaster for them. But the way that Palace played, and particularly Elise, I thought was outstanding, obviously, to get those 3 assists like he did, and the way he played. And you mentioned there about Roy Hodgson and some being surprised. I think one thing you do have to look at is the way his management is always been widely known as, quite a particular strength of his. And particularly with that young squad, with his experience, for him to come in and sort of guide them. We know he's done a very good job with Zaha in the past, and the way he's sort of been able to develop him. So in a way, he's probably the perfect sort of guy to come in and guide them, really, in this end of season sort of battle to stay up. It seems like a lot of the clubs down the bottom there are just looking for a short-term solution, because there is no clear fix. Especially when you're looking at bringing a manager in. If you're looking long-term, you're probably going to offer them a 3 or 4 year contract, and that's a big risk, especially when you're battling to stay up. So in a way, it's probably the ideal situation. And let's be honest, it couldn't really be going any better for them at the minute.
No, well, the last game, when his first game in charge, they played against Leicester, didn't they, and got an important win there as well. And it's been said that they've got the easiest run-in of the teams in the bottom half of the table, but I don't think that counts for anything really at the minute, because there's so little between them. And the fact that against Leicester, they had over 30 shots, 30 attempts at goal is, first of all, remarkable in any game. But in his first game back, when he's trying to turn around a team that's been struggling, a team that hadn't had a shot on target for how many games in a row previously under Patrick Vieira, some kind of unwanted record. It was such a statement from him to say, everyone's got these assumptions about me as a coach, and that's just not the way it is. He is adaptable, isn't he? You could see that he's got a talented team at his disposal. And it reminded me a bit of when he used to be manager of the Fulham team that got to, was it the UEFA Cup final back in the day? And again, they played brilliant football.
Sevilla again, was it? I think it was Sevilla.
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's always Sevilla, isn't it? But, I mean, he hasn't got a reputation for playing negative football if you go back far enough. It's only when he's kind of generally managing teams with poor quality players. But this Palace team is quite talented, and I think he's proved that he can get a song out of a team if they're willing, and they seem really keen to fight and play for him.
As well, you mentioned Edouard. I'm quite surprised he's not been playing as much as as he should be. He's always been a big talent, even obviously when he was at Celtic. He was, and he's a threat, and that's something that they have actually lacked, obviously, in games this season, just being able to score goals. So it was good to see him get on the score sheet as well.